Hey, good people. Welcome in to Miss LeAnnyaa's Third Eye 13, my granny and mama's hybrid namesake. Miss LeAnn's, my also known as SAG after name. Yas, my Thursday born Akan day name. So LeAnnyaa's my adopted name, living in Ghana, West Africa. And this is where you'll get my third eye view and sometimes eternal educator perspective in or about or a multiple of 13 minutes. 13 being my favorite number. So again, welcome in. Okay, so welcome in again to the second part of my conversation with Dr. Morris Red or Dr. Mo. And in the introduction segment, he shared all of his book titles, including the one that he compiled with his then fiance, now wife, entitled Rhythmic Revelations, 120 Song Lyrics That Resonate and Elevate. And I didn't know that I would be blessed enough by them to receive a copy. And so I wanted to share what I found most relevant to our conversation. And the lyric is, "But honey, I'm rich on personality," by His Purple Majesty Prince from the song Baby, I'm a Star. And the affirmation by the Newlyweds is, "Abundance is a mindset, a richness beyond materiality." And I affirm that you will be just as blessed by this conversation and all of the things that we dig in on. Okay, enjoy it. A question that I asked everyone who comes to talk with me: how do you define your philosophy around life, living, being human?
So I would say a spiritual being having a human experience.
Okay.
I believe that we're all composed of energy,
Mhm.
and everything around us is energy. And so just the modality that I was blessed to be in is a person. There's animals I believe that also have spirits, and how people can leave spirits in buildings. So
Mm.
spirituality is very important to me, and I think it's very real.
Mhm.
Um, and But the human experience is different than anybody else's
Got it.
because of
Okay.
the intelligence that we've been blessed to be able to have. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, everything to me is spiritual, and
Okay.
so I think that also gives me a different framework because I'm not looking at things so ethereal. We have a choice how we can perceive something.
Mhm.
Like to me, I try to make sure that I look at things as neutral.
Being impartial to leave
Right.
yourself open to interpretation. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. So,
Mhm.
but that also gives me a perception that if there's somebody outside of me who's not looking at something neutral, I can easily see how they can go one way or the other
Mhm.
on any given subject.
Mhm.
But if I look at things neutrally, and if I believe that everything is neutral, then that gives me power
Mhm.
because now I have a choice.
Mhm.
I can either choose to look at it X or Y or Z or A or however
Mhm.
many different
Mhm.
ways, but I have a
Mhm.
choice, and to me that gives me power. But the
Yes.
person who doesn't understand neutrality, they just see something and react or respond,
Mhm.
and that
Right.
person made me mad because they said this, but
Mhm.
the this may not have meant to be something. And I'm not,
Yes.
I never claim to be perfect in that
Right.
or anything, but
Right.
I work at that
Mhm.
and have to constantly remind myself. And that's again speaking about the mindset. Like um, it's a muscle,
Mhm.
and so you have to exercise it in the way that you're going to increase it or improve it. And each one of us exercise our mindsets every day, whether we want to or not. And we can either exercise it in a way that is detrimental to us because
Okay.
we continue to lean one way or the other, accepting things, or you can exercise it the other way and demonstrate the power that you have. And I choose to do that one as much as
Okay.
possible.
Yes.
And I'm still human, so
Yes.
I get to
Yes.
make mistakes.
Yes.
Or I
Yes.
get to go
That.
back. I don't even want to say
Yes.
make mistakes. I
Yes.
get to go back, revert.
Yes. And I understand that because that is a part of my daily affirmation, which is that the divine within connects us to what has always been, I believe.
Mhm.
But because being human, we're imperfect. I believe in being imperfect, we're gonna miss the mark.
Right.
Often, sometimes it is detrimental to others, and sometimes it's detrimental to us. But I feel like when we take the position of it's just what it is, it's just a part of Human nature is a part of the human experience.
I like what you just said because
Yeah.
that's a phrase I use all the time, and I try to teach people to use. It
Mhm.
is what it is.
Yes.
That makes life to me so simple. Like
Yes.
it just is. Like
Yes.
I don't have
Yes.
to say it's bad or it's good or
Mhm.
it is what it is.
Yes.
When we
Yes.
look at the current political climate,
Yes.
um, on one hand, yes, it's not preferential.
Mhm.
However, it is what it's here.
Right.
So what you're going to do? I mean,
Right.
you can live through it, or you can internally kill yourself
Mm.
worrying about what is, because it's still going to be is.
It is going to be. Right.
Right. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So
Yes. I got it. I got it completely.
mhm.
And I want to go back to what you were saying before, that you feel like the mind is a muscle that is meant to be exercised. And I would like for you to explain what you mean by that, because it has been said to me, mind is only what we make it. It's not real. It's not real. And so I would like to know how, if you have any thought about what I have been taught, because I could say that I'm always in my head. I'm constantly mindful of various things. And that's a part of what has been my counsel to help me to
Okay.
be more about my gut, more about my feeling nature rather than my mindful nature. Does that make sense?
It does. It
Okay.
does.
All right.
My belief is that again, being a spiritual being and whether spirituality comes from um God or whatever, somebody says that they're connected to.
Okay.
Um Myself, I say God.
Hmm.
Um and we being made in his image and given his thoughts,
Mm.
even though we most of the time don't choose those thoughts. When I say exercising, my definition is more along the lines of getting back
Mm.
to the original blueprint. So getting back
Okay.
to those thoughts that we're supposed to think.
Okay.
And if God is a creator, I believe that we're all creators and
Mm.
that we all, not just physically but mentally, also create.
Mm.
So if we do not aspire to be like the original form,
Mm.
factory, the factory settings, then um, we move away. You either move toward or you move away.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
I think most people by nature move away because they're trained to move away. We're trained very early to move away because even as a child, when you first start dreaming, you have humongous plans about what you want to do. You're
Okay.
just a toddler and you're already thinking, I want to go to space,
Okay.
right?
Right. Right.
But then as you get older, maybe your math and your science grades don't demonstrate what somebody thinks is going to
Mm-hmm.
be good enough to be an
Mm-hmm.
astronaut.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they dumb you down and say, well, why don't you just, you know, get in business or why don't you just do
Mm-hmm.
something else?
Mm-hmm.
And that starts very early on because as babies, I think we're closest to God
Yes.
as children, but we
Yes.
just don't know how to um,
Communicate it.
communicate that. Right.
Yes. Yes.
And then the brakes get put on just about everything we do.
Okay.
You're trying to learn how to walk. And mom says, be careful, stop, don't grab onto that. They don't want you to pull up because they're afraid. And it just continues through life. Uh,
Okay.
so I think where I am now is I'm at the belief that I need to get back. I get to get back to my original factory settings as close as possible anyway.
Okay.
It
Okay.
has to take intention, right? So
Okay.
that's what I practiced and I exercise my mind to do that. And exercising can be different things. I have a father-in-law who has dementia,
Oh
right?
wow.
And I don't know why. I'm not a doctor, but
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
know when I'm
Not a
reading,
medical doctor. Not
not
a
a medical
medical.
doctor.
Right.
So,
Right.
but when I'm reading, I
Uh-huh.
see that when people don't exercise their minds, they have a higher likelihood of getting something like dementia,
Right.
Alzheimer's.
Right. Right. Right.
And exercising may be just reading, it might be doing
Right.
puzzles,
Puzzles.
Sudoku,
Yes. Right.
interacting with people,
Right.
talking
Right.
on the phone. But like watching TV may not be something that's stimulating enough.
Right.
And then,
Right.
of course, the foods that we eat has a humongous amount of
Mm-hmm.
impact on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then food also is energy. Going back to that, food is
Okay.
energy. And so you put the wrong type of energy you put dead energy into you, it kind of counteracts the good energy or the live energy that's in you, and you're fighting yourself. So it's a
Okay.
lot of different pieces to this. But getting back to just the exercising, I just think that if we understand that the mind is a brain, I mean a brain, the brain is, let me use that synonymous, is a muscle, then, and like any other muscle, it takes building up and strengthening. And how do you do that? And and how you do that is different for different people. Just like when you go to the gym, different people are doing different things.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah, I got it. And that's why I was asking because, I think naturally people think of the brain as a muscle, but the mind as an intangible. And so I appreciate that, that you explained basically the mind being a function of the brain
right.
and there being a way to exercise it. And
And to your
so,
point, real quick, to your point
uh
earlier, in the Bible it says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is
okay.
he." And so, a lot of people look at heart as emotion, right?
Yes.
How you feel.
Uh-huh.
So, but in the Bible, I think it's more speaking about the mind, right? But it is interconnected.
Okay.
So you can be emotional, um, but there has to be a level of control
Mm,
to it
hmm.
because typically when we think of emotions, you can fly off.
Yes.
Depending on what you're feeling, you do something one way, and then if you're feeling a
Hmm.
different way, you do something a different way, and it's not necessarily that you thought about it.
Hmm.
So I think it's okay to have some emotion in there,
Okay.
because emotion is also again coming back to energy.
Hmm.
It may give you that enthusiasm to move forward, to
Hmm.
persevere through something,
Yeah.
or if something happens and with your typical strength you couldn't remove that thing, but because of the emotion you're able to move something that is too heavy. It comes into play. However, it's still your mind has tricked yourself, or your mind has
Yeah.
decided that
Yeah.
I need to go to a different level in order to
Mhm.
handle this situation.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and sometimes, from what I'm gathering, you're saying that the emotions, your feelings about something can basically KO the mind because the mind can, get you locked into a perspective
mhm.
or a reality that is not necessarily in your favor. Yeah. Okay. And as I've explained to you, the mission of my content is to educate as many people as will listen to the understanding of the divine born within.
Mhm.
And in being born into the human experience, we are born for a divine purpose.
Right.
And so, would you tell us if you believe you are leading the life that was divinely ordained for you?
Right. So yes,
Okay.
um, and no.
And no. Okay.
And no,
Let me hear that.
because
Let me
there's
hear that.
layers to it. I think
Okay.
there's layers to
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I'm moving in the right direction, but it's so
Okay.
many different facets that I haven't touched yet. But
Okay.
so my purpose, I believe for myself, is that I'm supposed to um, alert people and teach people how to access um, parts of their mind that they previously had not for a better life, whatever
Okay.
that looks like, right?
Okay.
And I do that with books. Like I said, I write books
Okay.
and I also help others write books. And typically the books that they write, like I don't take any author's books.
Okay.
It has to have some meaning to it.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
I speak. Um, I I participate on podcasts and live streams, and
Mhm.
I have my own podcast, and I lecture, and then I'm a teacher in the classroom. And even in my classroom, I deviate from the curriculum to make sure that my students' mindsets are at least set up so that they
Okay.
start to understand things.
Okay.
And there are so many different other aspects that I can be touching on.
Mhm.
Um, so I know those doors are opening.
Mhm.
So I'm walking in it. I'm definitely walking in it, but
Okay.
I'm not there. And
Yes.
I don't believe that I'll ever get there or any of us
Right.
will ever get there because there's always work to do.
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
But I might inspire two or three more Dr. Mo's,
Mhm.
and then they inspire six or nine more.
Mhm.
And then the mission continues until all this goes away.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah. So I appreciate that the yes is in this moment, again, going back to what we were saying, in the present moment, which is truly all we have,
Right.
yes, but no, because moving forward, if you're favored enough to get to more time, you can get more under your belt, more influence, more service, more love, more whatever. Yeah. So I dig it. I dig that.
Can I leave
Go
with
ahead.
a few
Go ahead.
words?
Yes, please.
So it's it's touching on what you talked about. I believe that most people believe that there is a higher being.
Mhm.
And so if we understand that we have the mindset and the capability that is divine,
Mhm.
then we can be, do, and have anything that we want to be, do, and have
Mhm.
within limits.
Yes.
Now, most people won't say within limits. They'll just say you can have whatever you want to, whatever you want to have, be, or do.
Mhm.
But there
Mhm.
are limits because we are still living. We're spiritual beings living
In a
in
physical
this
world.
physical. So we are physical. So
Mhm.
that prevents us.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's a shell preventing us from experiencing everything the
Right.
way that we want it to.
Right.
And
Mhm.
we still get to experience it the way that we want to, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. I get it. I get it. And I hope that other people will get it. And I always close the opening part of my prayer with, because of our divine likeness, even within the balance of our human nature, that our needs are met and our desires are met. Now, to your point about not being able to have everything that your heart desires, I get it in terms of there's but so much within the limitation of our human experience. Yeah. I appreciate that. Okay, just a really quick break here to make a go at some editing production magic. Have fun with the rest. This lighthearted question of asking, what do you stand 10 toes down in, even though it might get an ew from somebody else?
All right. So this is going to sound strange, but um, being positive.
Okay.
I say that because I think I'm a different type of person.
Okay.
Um, Not that everybody isn't, but in as much as I try to look at or find the positive in most situations.
Mm.
And so, despite what's happening, I still am okay. I'm good. And a lot of people feel like, well, you should be this way or
Mm.
that way. And I'll give you an example. When something happens in the news, a
Mm.
tragedy,
Okay.
right? Um, I'll resolve to pray about the people that were in the situation
Mm.
and let it go.
Mm.
But I don't get bent out of shape and like, oh my God, this happened. And, and then the next day still be thinking about it and so on and so forth. And I don't know if somebody would say, oh, you're just callous.
Mm.
But
Mm.
like getting back to it is what it is, right? If something happened, it happened. There's nothing that I'm going to think or do aside from just praying for that family that's going to change what happened.
Mm.
So I don't stay in there. I don't stay in
Mm.
that.
Mm.
But people will look at me. I can feel that they feel like, like, are you heartless? Or, is something
Mm.
wrong with you?
Mm.
And I just choose not to be in that space with them or like other people.
Mm. Mm.
So, and I stay because the background is that there was a period in my life
Mm.
that uh, everything went wrong, right?
Mm.
Nothing was going right in my
Mhm.
eyes.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the thoughts of those things manifested physically in two autoimmune disorders
Oh, wow.
in my life.
Mm. Mm.
And they've impacted me dramatically
Mm.
over this was since 2014, so
Okay.
11 years.
Okay.
Um, and in addition to that, I was married at that point.
Mm.
I got a divorce. My father died. It was like
Mm.
a lot of things happened at the same time
Mhm.
within months.
Mm. Mm.
And I let it take over me mentally,
Mm. Mm.
and the illness ran rampant,
Mm.
and I was in horrible shape.
Mm.
And people
Mm.
today who knew me then, if they talked to you, they would say, "I didn't think he was going to make it." Now,
Okay.
I never thought I wasn't going to make it. In fact, both disorders are not even fatal, but just
Okay.
the way that I looked, it was
Mhm.
like, even if he does physically make it out of this, I don't know how he's going to mentally bounce back.
Okay.
But I made a decision many years ago that I was no longer going to allow anything around me to impact inside me like that
Mm.
again.
Mm.
And so I protect my peace. That's my number one thing, protect my peace. And my
Mhm.
peace is staying positive.
Okay.
And yes, I get angry. I'm not saying, again, there's no perfection here, but
Right.
uh, I work at it.
Okay.
And I'm very intentional about um, pulling myself back and say, oh, you're starting to go over here or you're starting to
Mm.
go here. Bring it
Mhm.
back, bring it
Mhm.
back.
Mhm.
Right. So that's one thing that I think a lot of people, from my best friend to my fiance to, a lot of people, they grapple with it because they're not there. But I'm okay with that. It's like I'm not gonna deviate to please anybody because this is what works for me. And what works for them, if it's different, I'm okay with that. Now, I just caught myself, so I'm okay with it to a degree. Like I always try to impose my
you try to pass on the positivity.
Right. And some people don't want to receive it.
Got it.
Because it's like, you can't just be positive about everything. Like, even my mom. I mean, it's like, but I believe I can. I can. And I get to be. So, if they want to, they can. And I've rubbed off on some people, to a degree, or they're moving in that direction. And everybody who I've talked to in my coaching, they love it.
Okay.
Because it's changed their lives dramatically.
Okay.
But, there are people in my own inner circle that sometimes they'll try it, but most of the time it's just something that it clashes with their spirit, the way that they operate. And I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I still love them. We still people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and so listen, there's so much that you've said that I wanted to respond to, but I needed you to get it out. First of all, I have the basic belief that because I cannot control how people feel about me, I cannot be concerned about it. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. The only thing that I control is how you treat me.
Right.
Okay. How you feel about me is about you. So I cannot control it. I cannot be concerned about it. The second thing I will say is when you were talking about being heartless and callous, and that is the exact opposite of what I see is actually aspirational to me, to be able to truly let go and let God. When you use the example of bad news, whether or not it is close or distant, after you have released it, it's gone. Yeah, I've not gotten there. And I haven't gotten to a place of being able to protect my peace as well as you have. And that is aspirational. But I think we who are heart driven and meant to be of service to others and helpful to the evolution and helpful to the betterment of people and, the experience, have been through experiences that have prepared us. And so I so appreciate that we were able to turn our conversation around in such short order. I appreciate the conversation because I've learned from you and hopefully you picked up some things from me because for me, that's the whole point, like you're being taught when you teach and it's cyclical that, So
lifelong learning. I always tell my students, I appreciate them because I learn a lot from them.
Yes, the same. So much I learned from them. And there's philosophy that you learn. One of my line sisters wrote a book about the things that creatures teach us. And the very first, and it's an alphabet book because it's a children's book. So it's an alphabet book. And the first creature is an ant. And the thing that I remember about the ant is the example of diligence, that an ant will carry the weight however long is needed to reach wherever it is that is meant to carry what it is meant to carry. So you learn from everywhere, all around. Okay, so with all of that, I appreciate you so much, and I will affirm that everything that we talked about will be received and be favor for whoever happens upon it. And I will close with you with Namasté, which means the light within me honors the light within you. Namasté, bro.
Namaste.
All righty. So that's going to do it for now. And I thank you for taking the time to check us out. And I affirm that be it by divine appointment, you'll check me out the next time as well. Although I'm not exactly sure when that will be, as I am looking to put a pin in original productions for a little while and go back to some of my older segments and see if I can polish them up from the diamonds and the rough that they are to shine brightly on the second go around. And with that, I'll remind you that my biggest third eye 13 aspiration is to eventually host all of my beloved, thriving 13th babies, the eighth wonder of the world, Mr. Stevie Wonder, born May 13th, Auntie Whoopi, Whoopi Goldberg, born November 13th, and the September 13th trifecta, Miss Iyanla Vanzant, Mr. Tavis Smiley, and Mr. Tyler Perry. And my biggest professional aspiration has been to join Team Cube Vision at the direction of my beloved renegade phenomenal 15th baby, Mr. O'Shea Jackson Sr., Ice Cube, yay yay, born June 15th. But now, on the social impact side, in an effort to rework his brilliant contract with Black America. And I thank you for touching and agreeing with me on all of this, please. And I ask that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell to get the alerts when the next thing is posted. And I'll close with you as well with Namasté. Again, meaning the light within me honors the light within you. And so until next time, be good, take good care, and Namasté, good people.